Excellency, Dr. Machar, Teng. I will not pronounce it the way it was pronounced before. Your Excellency, other Vice Presidents, Your Excellency, the Speakers, the Speaker of Parliament and the Speaker of Council of State, Your Excellency, the Chief Justice, Your Excellencies, the advisors, Your Excellencies, the diplomatic members of the diplomatic corps. They are very important people. Some of us tend to forget about them and the role they played in the independence of the Republic of South Sudan. Your Excellencies, we have signed a historic agreement, a very important roadmap, but also a very heavy responsibility. To me, this may be the last chance for us as leaders of South Sudan if we want to help our people. For the last few years, we have signed a number of agreements. The only agreement which was successful and which was a comprehensive peace agreement that brought the independence of South Sudan. And why it was successful? It was because we were united. We were one people. And I remember in 2002, when SPLM was divided, Dr. Riek and Dr. John decided to bring SPLM together. And we have the longest meeting and the most important meeting in the history of SPLM here in Yei to reunite SPLM. President Salva was in that meeting, Comrade James was in that meeting, and many of us, some of us were in that meeting. It was the longest. We met from 7 in the evening to 7 in the morning to determine the future of SPLM. Because we had to unite. Unity was what brought us to where we are today. We signed. We need the same unity. We have signed this agreement, but we need to unite, at least unity of purpose. It's true we are different political parties, but if you saw those who are sitting here, including the president, were SPLM. All of us were SPLM. So SPLM can become a problem, and SPLM can become, okay. So I want to appeal to those who fought this war and negotiated the peace agreement. 21 years is not easy. All of us were in the bush. Today we look very handsome and very nice. But when we were fighting, we did not look the way we are. This agreement, this independence, came through a very hard struggle. Mr. President, I want to appeal to you and the other leaders. Yes, I'm coming, other leaders. I want to appeal to you, to Deng Machar, to Deng Alor, James Wani, Madam Rebecca, and other leaders of SPLM. I want unity. I want us to unite as a party. At least a unity of purpose. It is only when SPLM unites, then we can implement this agreement. And I'm sure we have suffered enough. We have seen lots of difficulties. We have taken lots of lessons that will help us to unite this time. Mr. President, our people, the civil society has just spoken, and I'm happy that civil society is part of this. It's part of this agreement. But civil society has spoken and Yakana has said some few words by way of advice to the leadership of SPLM. Civil society also are leaders in this country. So whatever these political leaders, political parties make, civil society should not be far from this. I want us to unite. I want us to complete the peace process. If you look at the people who are still outside now, our SPLM, whether it is General Malong, Awan, or Thomas Chirillo, or Pagana Mum, you count them, they are all SPLM. I want us to reconcile and bring these comrades back and unite our ranks. We have differed enough. Our differences have caused a lot of suffering to the people of South Sudan. And it is about time for us to apologize to the people of South Sudan and reconcile and unite the SPLM. So that we have this agreement that we have signed. If we do not unite our ranks and our ideas, 2 years is not a long time. It's only 24 months. And the agenda as outlined by the Minister for Cabinet Affairs, Martin Elia, is a big agenda that we need to implement. I don't think people will stand with us again, listen to us again for excuses why we are asking for another extension. I don't think so. So we don't want extension and we want support our people. Let us help our people by coming together as leaders of this country. Mr. President, somebody asked me sometimes back, why are we still having refugees in Africa and beyond? Kakuma is still open as a refugee camp in Kenya. We created that refugee camp during the war, but we have not been able to close that camp because of our differences. We have refugees in Uganda. We have refugees in Tanzania. We have a big group of refugees in Egypt. Sudan, I can't say Sudan. Most of the South Sudanese are still in Sudan. So some of them ask us, why did you fight for independence when we are still in this country? And this is because of our differences as SPLM that liberated this country, but also created trouble for its own people. Let us also appeal to ourselves to do the right thing so that our refugees come back home, so that they come to their own country. They are unable to come now because they are afraid of us. Number two, they are hungry. They can't survive here in this country. The last thing, Your Excellency, is I want to inform our friends who stood with us during the struggle, during the liberation. As I said before, this liberation and this day would have not been there if we had not helped and supported by the region, of course, in addition to support our people, by the region and by the international community. I want to thank the members of Western Europe and the United States for their good work done during the war and during the struggle. They help us and they have remained with us. We should not disappoint them. We should not disappoint anybody, including our people. I want to tell them that the agreement we have signed today is a good agreement. You put yourselves in our shoes. You would have done the same thing. You'd have signed the same agreement. We have difficulties. We have difficulties. I don't want us just to be criticized for the sake of criticism. Look at our objective realities, the realities that we are facing in our country. They have been outlined. You help us during the war, during the struggle. Don't tire. Continue with us. We will cross the river. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Deng Alor. Let's give him a applaud.